Hey guys, Kevin here. So, another day, another package. This one came from Japan. So, I've already pre-opened this, so I'm not digging out with a knife. I haven't actually seen, I know what's inside it as well, but I haven't actually seen the condition of the thing that's inside it. So, what this is a Twin Famicom that I picked up in Japan. So basically, I picked this up for 13 euros. No joke, 13 euros. Won the bid. It wasn't even a bid, it was actually buy now. So, but yeah, I'm gonna crack this open. I'm gonna see if it came with a plug as well, because I won't be able to turn this on to test it without the plug. But yeah, I'll be back in 2 seconds after I get all this off my lap. So this is it. Picked up for 13 euros and 2 cents. Postage cost me 60 euros and 18 cents. Unsurprisingly, because of the size of the box. And pretty much that's it. Yeah, I got this for a pretty good deal. I know the postage seems a little high, but coming from Japan to Ireland, it's not that bad, to be honest. So yeah, let's crack her open. Grab my knife, my little useless knife. Hey. Use the bigger knife. Hey, so got that. Release. There we go. Take that from this side. There is the two Famicom controllers attached to the back, of course. Right in there. That was just a piece of extra wrapping tape. So there we go. It's the black version as well, so it is. So reset feels good. Nice click coming from that there. So that's a little bit loose. I might have to take a look at that. But that's when it's on. Yep, that's working. Look at that. It's keeping cartridges out, which is good, and then cartridges in, which is really good. So the main reason why, oh yeah, and I also picked up one of these. This is a Famicom, or an NES to Famicom converter. So what this will do is it will go into the Famicom like so, and I just pick up one of my NES games, my favorite game in the world, Mega Man, and there we go. Hey, so yeah, it looks a little bit weird, a little bit odd, but I should be able to play a lot of my original NES games on this machine, no problem. And I will be buying a few Famicom ones that were never released in Europe or the US, so that'd be really cool. It needs a bit of a clean up. There's a bit of spill on it and that. In there it's pretty crummy. I'll probably disassemble this, probably video myself disassembling this. The main reason why this thing was only 13 euros as well. It does turn on, it does work. I will have to clean that there, the they seem a little bit, you know, they seem a little bit, you know, used. It feels like somebody was bashing this thing at one stage. But the reason why this was €13 was the disk drive is not working, so it's not reading and it's grinding. So generally that's where the belt has actually perished, and I can change the belt out. That shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, I'm just going to review this entire thing, take a look over it, and I'll be back as soon as I get everything sorted and working. So I was just about to clean it up there, and I was just popping open, and my suspicions have been confirmed. So basically I was just using my torch to have a look around to see if the belt was actually broken on this, and oh yeah, it's definitely broken. It's so badly broken, so it is. Sorry, I'm just going to put this right here. So it's so badly broken, it came out of its casing. Just gonna grab a piece, and it was outside the casing. So it obviously snapped off inside there. That is a piece of the that is actually a piece of the, oh, it's actually snapping in my hands. So yeah, it's really badly, that literally just disintegrated in my hands, a piece of it. So yeah, it's bad. So it was, but I can order a new one of those. I'm just gonna have to gut this entire thing right now. I'm going to be cleaning the I'm going to clean out the connector. I'm going to clean, there's a lot of gunk in there, totally disassemble, clean it all out, and have it as mint as I can possibly make it. One thing I was worried about was this capacitor right here. I've seen a lot online where the bigger capacitor blows. It's not bubbled or anything here. I will check the capacitance in a minute, but it doesn't look blown, to be honest, and none of these really do look blown. I am a little bit worried about about that one there. It doesn't, no, that's not blown. It just looks a little bit odd, that's all. But other capacitors are looking fine. There's a switch there for some reason. Oh, that's the switch between the CD and the yeah, that's just the switch between the CD and the Famicom. So it is, or not the CD, the disc system. So yeah, yeah, it's a very interesting machine. So it is very, very interesting. Apparently these are interchangeable, the disk drives. They're all the exact same. They're the same as the single ones, are the ones that are just the one, just on their own, the normal disk system. So worst case scenario, if I can't fix this, I can just buy another one and just pop it in there instead. So that's pretty much another option. So it is, yeah, so that's an overview of the inside, and now I'm just going to gut this and clean it. Back in a bit. So we are back, and this has been absolutely gutted inside and out. The controllers are now minty clean, as you may see there, nice and shiny. They've been disassembled, put back together again. That goes in there. Number two was probably the best of the lot, so it was. Yeah, so this here is now very, very nice and loose. What I did to actually get that nice and loose was actually I put a bit of WD-40 on a cloth, wiped it down, and this was like hard to push at all, so it was, but so as I cleaned out the area and put in a little bit of WD-40, it's nice and clicky again, as you may see, as you may hear. So also buttons are immaculate, as you may see there, very, very nice. I was debating whether I should actually swap out the buttons from number 2 to number 1, because number 1 was actually quite worn, but it turned out number 1 was actually wasn't as worn as I thought it'd be. It's such an odd little system, or well, it's a large system, but it's such an odd system, so it is, compared to my NES. So I want a bit of light on it, on the subject, kind of fix that. So we have there's a few marks I couldn't get out, but it shined up pretty well actually, cleaned up very well. The red is kind of showing a lot better than what it was. And what I've kind of found out was that all the ports are all clean. This cleaned all the buttons, they're all nice and shiny, and actually I got a lot of yellowing off the that button there. It looks like it's the same color. The actual reset button is the same color then as the NES on the bottom there. Oh, the poor old NES, they're broken, but shall be fixed. But so the actual disk drive. This one is a little bad news anyway. Well, not really bad news, it's fixable, but I was debating whether I should even leave it out or put it back in or not. These here are what I found inside the machine. This is actually what's left of the belt, of the original belt, and if you even, look at that, if you even just bend it, it just breaks up into bits. So it does. So obviously just picking it up and even bending it snaps it into small bits. So it's this is probably the entirety of the cable. I can't find any more of it. There's probably a lot of it inside the actual disk drive, but it looks like when somebody turned it on, maybe it just kind of flicked everywhere. Internally it was all over the inside of the machine. If you take a look at, if you seen in my earlier part of my video. But basically, yeah, that's the actual contents. But basically what I have actually done is this here is a lot more functional now. So any game can go in here and it will flick up properly, as long as the button has been cleaned, and I can just flick there, and as you may see in here has been cleaned also. That's properly clicks now. I think there is something missing out of that, but not too sure. There's a bit of a click still, and as you may see, that locks pretty well. So it does. Yeah, it's still a bit seized up there, but I can live with that. But let's click that right there, and yeah, this is pretty cool. The only thing is, it didn't come with a power cable, so I can't actually physically test right now. But there is a company that does the actual power cable for this machine, a UK power cable at that. So I should be able to use it, no problem. Also, games wise, currently I have all my original NES games. Now this may seem like kind of like fuck all games really, or really hardly any games anyway, but these are literally my original NES games. We got Mega Man 2, Mega Man 4 boxed still. Wish I kept the box for the rest of them. We got Super Mario Bros. 3, Probotectors, one of my favorite games of all time. If you don't know what Probotectors is Contra 1 for Europe, and Battletoads. Yeah, so Probotectors, Contra, the very first Contra, in Ireland and the UK. Well, Ireland definitely. Contra was barred because it was humans shooting humans on a computer game, but which was illegal. And so what they did was they changed all the sprites to robots, and pretty much it was just robots shooting robots, so that was okay. And that's my Contra. That's pretty much my Contra. So I don't like the original one. I don't like the sprites in the original one. The robot one looks a lot cooler, trust me. And also, the reason why I bought this, the full reason why I actually bought this, was because my own NES has actually kicked the bucket. The lockout chip is completely kabuts. So some guy that I brought to a while back said that he would change out the actual, well, actually I have it right here. He gave it back to me. So he said he would change out this, the actual cartridge bay, and he would clip the lockout chip. He gave it back to me. It worked for a few days, and then it just completely grey screened, like fully grey screened. Never been able to get it back again. And this is my childhood. I've had this since I was 3, so this is my childhood console. I'm 28 now, so I've had this for a very, 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 very long time. So 1 week later, and we have both at the same time, nicely enough, the power cable and the belt. So the one thing I want to find out is, does this work? So first thing we'll do is already open it. There's the power connector. So I'll leave a link to the website that I picked this up off. They actually make the right power connectors for the right machines, retro machines. They just supply them. So if you buy anything from abroad, you can actually pick up the UK charger off these guys, or US charger, whichever really does the job for you. But so it's the right voltage, the right everything for this machine. So it is. So looks a little cheap, to be honest, but it's nice and small. This is pretty much the what we're looking at here. It's about right for the. Does look about right for this NES or the Super Twin Famicom, Sharp Twin Famicom. So yeah, let's plug this in and see how it runs. But first, also, this has only been slightly opened. Come on. And here is our belt. So I'll leave the links for these in the description. Looking at it from outside the camera, it looks to be a quality belt. I won't know until it's installed how good it actually is. Retro cable. Yeah, so there's the two. That should bring my Famicom back to life. Fingers crossed. I'm going to take her out of here and I'm going to set it up right here, and we're going to start up a game at least and see if it actually does work, considering this thing only cost me €13 with 60 € shipping. So yeah, back in 2 seconds. So after all that, actually trying to get the machine to boot up, I tried to get booting up there, and I was only getting a flickering light, so it was at the front. So I looked at the power supply, which powers both the Famicom and the disk drive, and what I seen was this right here. So this capacitor right here registered absolutely zilch on the multimeter. So I'm just grabbing the multimeter right here. Turn on the backlight on the multimeter so you can see it. Sorry if this offends anyone who's a big multimeter fan, but yes, I have a cheapy multimeter, but as a backlight, and it actually works pretty well. Doesn't bother me too much. So if I just pop off the tops here. Oh well. It's very random. It just doesn't work sometimes. Like, these detect after a few seconds, only by tips. But on this thing here, it's very random. So, I was getting a similar issue, so it was with the resistor on the back of the Mega CD on the back of this, so it could be that the capacitor on this is blown completely. As you've seen, it was showing something there, but when I tried it a couple of times after the fact, it just didn't want to do it anymore. So just kind of discharge that. yeah, to discharge I just usually put the two either side and they'll discharge itself. But yeah, this could be my problem. And I had to desolder that from there, so it is yeah, it wasn't too bad, so it wasn't actually desolder. What I'll do is I'll order a new 2200 microfarad, and pretty sure that's a 16 volt capacitor, and we'll get a new one of these and see how it fits, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that works. Alright, back in a bit. So, just after putting on the new cap and everything powered on, but we're having some sound issues with this one here, and there seems to be a little bit of movement to it. So when I looked at the bottom here, I'm just going to zoom in. Which one is it? That one there. As you may see, if I push the cable in, there's a little bit of a crack there. It actually moves. So yeah, that just needs to be resoldered there. Might actually go through these as well, just in case, just to kind of put some clean new solder down, but hopefully that should fix that issue. And then we will have a beautiful Famicom. Fingers crossed. I'll be back in a minute. So, just after finishing fluxing and resoldering that there, and as you may see, it is solid as a rock. So that should fix my sound issue. Now, for a little bit, I was getting video, but I wasn't getting sound, unless I twiddle it around a bit. But that's great news. Hopefully, that should fix my issue. And debating whether I should go over the rest of these solder points, but because they're fairly, they're not too healthy. The solder points when I was actually resoldering these, it had like a skin on top, so it did. So generally that's just pure dirt, as far as I remember. But I was able to get flux on top and clean it all out and everything. So that's it cleaned. And yeah, let's put this entire Famicom back together and hope that this time it works. Right.